Welcome back to the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach as we introduce a huge clash in round 5, heat number 1. Kelly Slater, 11-time world champ, taking on Gabriel Medina, last year's world champion, as they go head-to-head for a spot into the quarterfinals. Joe Turpel alongside 89 world champ Martin Potter as we get underway. Kelly Slater was able to get things started during the break with a frontside wrap off the top, taking the first wave off Medina. Quick check on the open face to take a subtle lead. How do you like his form through that first point?
Beautiful. I mean, you know, Kelly's been on a bit of a roll here. I don't know, he's found an extra gear. I think that bad result on the Gold Coast really did fire him up. And he's got a good board under his feet. So Kelly looking sharp. I mean, yesterday surfed incredibly well and just not quite getting a good backup there in round number 4 yesterday, which finds him here in round number 5 up against Gabriel Medina. One of these guys is going to walk away with 2 bad results in a row. You know, for the standard of surfing these guys both produce, Medina and Kelly both coming off an average result on the Gold Coast. One of them is going to back it up with another average result here at Bells Beach. So 2 throwaways to kick off the year. That's not a good thing.
A big one here. Kelly yesterday was saying bring it on early. They might as well get things started just at the second stop of the season. We could see those all-time career matchups. They've had quite a few battles over the years. When you kind of break it down just to these one-on-one heats, which is the ones we really like to dive into, Gabriel Medina has 3 wins over Kelly Slater's 1 win. So Medina with Kelly's number, you think about finals. They've been 2 big finals together. One was in gigantic, flawless conditions in Tahiti. Medina beat Kelly last year. They also had a final in solid conditions in Fiji. Kelly was able to win that first final a couple of years back.
Yeah, so tit for tat. And these guys will have lots of battles in the future.
More waves on the way here. Kelly starts with a 2.83. Medina usually likes to control that opening ride. Kelly was able to get it, but he didn't turn it into a big number. So with seeing a 2.83 on the board, are you saying advantage Medina now?
No, not necessarily. You know, Kelly obviously got the ball rolling early. Medina having a look at this one. This is the biggest set we've seen all morning, so this is the beginning of that swell.
Now Medina goes straight up vert. Now we'll go down to the bottom of this wave, heading towards the Bells Bowl. Little backhand carve, and we'll set it up off the top with another backside re-entry. Medina just throwing it over the whitewater to finish. He'll take the lead off Slater, but Kelly's heading that same direction, deep off the bottom, and rips one off the top, going so fast into the next section. He'll drive into the whitewater, and he'll run out of room. That first move was weightless. He came flying out of it into that second section, Potts.
Yeah, big sets coming through, Joe. You know, this is, as we said, we're expecting the swell to pick up. Kelly made the mistake yesterday of going on the first wave of the set. 2 waves later, Adriana de Souza dropped a 9.6 on him. So Kelly understanding that, fixing it up straight away, letting Medina go on the first one, and then him capitalizing on the back wave. A little cleaner, a little bit of white water on the face, but look at this opening turn from Kelly. Just launching himself through the air and then off the bottom again, and the ability to regather and throw that board up through the lip there. Amazing stuff from Kelly. That first turn though, he had so much projection on it. Medina on the other hand, more vertical approach. He draws off the bottom on his backhand, doesn't really connect that second turn, but then manages to unleash a couple of good turns. We have not seen the best of Medina yet here at Bells Beach. Traditionally a very tricky event for him. We're still waiting for Medina to click. Kelly, well, he has no problems here.
As we see another angle of Medina's backhand form at Bells Beach. This venue hasn't been one of his pet events. This is actually where we saw him slide last season, actually give up the gold jersey after that big start at Snapper last year. Then you see the flow from Kelly, weightless on that first turn.
Yeah, you know, he had so much projection off the bottom that when he hit that lip, it literally launched him out onto the open face. Kelly Slater is, I tell you what, he's in good form at the moment. I love it when he finds that motivation. That's something that makes him want to do well. He's obviously got a little bit angry after the Gold Coast, and we're seeing him come out in round 1 and literally a whole different kind of guy. I mean, a whole different approach. He's looking sharp, and he looks like he wants to win.
Not too much gets past Kelly Slater. Over the years, he's just been watching every video, I think, that comes out in pro surfing. He's aware of all the situations and the new rule updates, and he uses them to his advantage. As the judges call on the replay of Gabriel Medina before they put in those last two numbers. That replay system, relatively new to surfing. We saw how important it's been for the judges just to take an extra look.
You know, Medina's wave got more maneuvers, but Kelly's was a bit more dynamic. You know, I think there was a bit more pizzazz. You know, that opening turn, just literally launching himself out on the open face, and then the ability to land it and set that rail in these kind of conditions to then, you know, literally tag it. That lip was on its way down on that second turn, sort of fighting it, bashing that lip and finishing off. So I think Kelly's going to get the nod on that. A 6.50. Medina score coming through now, 5.83. So the judges nailed that one.
It's Kelly still out front. Medina needs a 3.51. Slater with first priority as he gets dropped off from the jet ski. One of the drivers out there, Tony Ray, has that memory of competing with Kelly at the Eddie Aikau event. T. Ray thought he was about to win a major victory over there at Waimea Bay, and Kelly went through the numbers and doing a recount, realized that he had won. He put that to everyone's attention, and Kelly ended up clinching that prestigious event.
Yeah, he's a numbers guy, isn't he? It's all about the numbers with Kelly. You can ask him any stat from any time, any wave, he can recall it and tell you exactly what went down and how it happened. He's got an amazing memory for that kind of stuff, and you know, does the calculations through the year, knows exactly what he needs to do to win.
And he's always known that formula. Oftentimes we ask him how he's putting himself up for the world title race and what he has to do, and he'll give you every result he needs to accomplish for the back end of the year. As we get the perspective from Medina's stepdad, Charlie, this is always the traditional sight that you see everywhere around the world. Medina loves bringing his entire squad with him to compete. He said that's how he feels more comfortable. Kelly was on his own when he was Medina's same age, winning his first couple of world titles.
Yeah, everyone's comfortable in different ways, you know. Kelly's comfortable around the world no matter where he's at. He feels at home, you know. He traditionally stays with families. You know, when he was younger, very rarely did he stay in a hotel by himself. He would bunk up with a family, you know, in certain countries and have that home cooking, have that home feel, you know, stay with, you know, have that family environment around him at all times. And, you know, that's why I think Kelly's so successful, because no matter where he goes, he feels at home. You know, he doesn't miss, if he's in Fiji, he doesn't miss being in Florida. If he's in Florida, you know, it's one of those things where he's basically a citizen of the world. You know, he doesn't really belong to one country. He spends a lot of time all over the place.
It's very cool to see how he's adapted over the years. Now the oldest man on tour with 11 world titles. So you can see Kelly sitting a bit further out the back wearing that red jersey. Medina's sitting a bit lower, a little bit on the inside of Kelly. Kelly does have priority. Do you like where Medina's sitting right now, Potts?
Well, Medina's, yeah, he's looking for those medium ones, the little cleaner on the face kind of waves where Kelly knows that swell's picking up. He knows there's those bombs coming through. So he's going to sit further out. He's waiting for the big ones. He wants to back that 6.50 up. He wants something solid up into the 8-point range and shut the gate on Medina. He wants to put the pressure on early. He knows how Medina operates. He can't let Medina, you know, catch up. He wants to really put the pressure on Medina and make Medina perform.
Well, last event at the Gold Coast, Kelly Slater ran into a Brazilian goofy foot in Italo Ferreira. A rookie took out Kelly in front of a maxed out crowd, and now a goofy foot world champ from Brazil is looking to do the same thing. Medina scratches into this insider under the priority of Kelly Slater. Backside wrap to start. Winds up with a backside crack through the whitewater. Straight up vert, throwing some power. Possibly his best turn on that effort. Now he'll fade and wait for this inside connector. This is his second scoring ride. A 3.51 gives him the lead. And Medina eyeing that end section. It's bending away. He'll still jam it off the top through the backwash and kick out.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. He was going to try and you know, get a couple of little ones in the inside, a little bit cleaner on the face, allowing him to unleash that backside turn. One solid maneuver on that wave. Really did connect with that second turn, Joe. The first one was more of a transition turn. Drew off the bottom and literally unleashed. Watch this right here. Snaps it off the top, just cuts back, waits for it to grow. And as he sees that section, snaps it again right here. Wham! Just beautiful rotation off the top there. Pushing with that back foot, getting that spray flying into the air. So beautiful turn there from Gabriel Medina. If this thing does go high, it'll be due to the fact of that one turn. Big sets coming through out the back, so Medina playing a very strategic game. Doesn't want to let Kelly get too far ahead. Wants to play that battle, that seesaw battle. I'm going to get the lead off you right now, and I'm going to make you try and earn it back.
So now Kelly still hanging on to his position with priority. His 6-5 is his best so far. As we see a set starting to build out the back, and Kelly will decide if he wants to take this one on. He's been riding this epoxy board from Channel Islands the last few days. He said it feels really light, but it's the best board that he has in his quiver that he does have on hand. Yesterday he did mention he wanted a little bit more weight out of his board, but out of the ones he has, he's just going to stick to this one. And the way he's flying out the top, he's going top speed and putting up some exciting maneuvers. Last of Medina comes in at a 4.83. We'll get a lead change. Kelly now needs a 4.16 on the answer back.
Well, the judges know there's 4 5-footers out there. Medina took off on a 2-footer on the inside, and hence that 4.83. I think, you know, although the judges are not judging the actual wave, they want to see good surfing on it. But here at Bells Beach, you know, those bombs are coming through. The judges want to see on the big ones.
Well, last heat, we had a women's round heat where Courtney survived a tight battle with Tatiana Weston-Webb. Courtney's downstairs with Peter Mel.
Yeah, Joe, so Courtney, you're trying to make sense of the lineup out there. How did you do it? I mean, it looks pretty challenging.
Yeah, definitely. Conditions are super challenging, and it's just getting on those opportunities when they come through. And I try to have priority when those bigger sets came through, so I could wait for the second wave and try to make the most of it. And you know, Tatiana, she's such a great surfer, and she had the opportunity of actually taking my the wild cards after me pulling out of that heat. So it was kind of nice to just feel it all through and see it through. It's kind of weird.
It is a little bit weird, but that's, I mean, she got that experience, you know, and so again, she's that tough competitor as we see up and riding now Kelly Slater from behind this one. And, you know, Kelly, gosh, she just somehow makes it exciting no matter what, right? And then, you know, and talk about your matchup with Coco Ho coming up.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to competing against Coco. She got me the upper hand on that last one, and it was such a close heat, and I want a rematch.
She's ready for a rematch, and remember, she does want to ring that bell.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Pete. As we see Kelly Slater finish way down the beach, he'll better at 2.83 and get the lead back off of Medina. Always great to hear from Courtney Conlock. She remembers everything, kind of like Kelly. Courtney got that wave the other day and almost landed on the rocks. She saved her board and sacrificed her body and didn't get the score. That's still bothering her right now, Potts.
Yep.
She's going to come out blazing against Coco Ho.
You know, and she made it quite clear last year prior to her injury that she didn't want to ring the bell. She wanted to smash it, you know, and that's how determined she was. Unfortunately, getting injured put her out for 4 events last year. So she's back. She's riding the same board that she was riding last year. So she's channeling that energy, and she's into the quarterfinals up against Coco. She wants that rematch. Here we go. Let's have a look at Kelly. This was during the interview. Kelly needing a mid-range score, something in the 4-point range, comes off the bottom, throws it up over the whitewater. We saw him do that yesterday, the ability to regather. That's what I like about Kelly. He's got that repositioning on the wave, down pat, snaps it up through the lip. See how he gets those fins sliding. This board looking really good under his feet, Joe. And he's going to bring this one through the inside, committed to this inside section. You've got to make sure you tag it. That he did. So Kelly Slater looking down the barrel of another good score, Joe.
We can see different points on this wave. I'm going to ask you, Potts, we see a lot of different laybacks to recovery. Was this layback a mistake from Kelly?
Yeah, you know, it was. It was literally a mistake, but he's got that ability to recover and go straight into the next turn, and that's exactly what he did. Bang, straight off the lip there. So, you know, what he's really good at is recovering to a point where the judges will forget about that really quickly because of what he does right after. It's almost like a planned move. You can see the board releasing and sliding. He loses his balance, but, you know, Kelly, 43 years young, he's got that agility, that core strength, that balance. You can see how he kept his weight over the board, which allowed him to get back up. Those knees were bending. Mine would have snapped in half, but, you know, with Kelly being who he is, he's like cat-like in his approach and straight into that turn. So the judges forgot about that little mistake right away. 6.03, so not a huge score, but he's posted a good one. And here he goes again, right out the back.
So Kelly with a beautiful roundhouse cutback to start. He does not have priority, and so he'll have to get out of there. Medina will rip the rest of the wave off of him and get started with a beautiful top turn wrap. Nice easy pace for the world champ. Jams into the white water a couple of times and he goes straight down. So he falls on an effort to take out Slater on a gem of a wave.
I guarantee you if Kelly wasn't on that wave, Medina wouldn't have taken it. It was a bit of a lemon. I think that was pure tactics there from Kelly. That wave had nothing on the inside, and you saw how Gabriel had to fade right down to the bottom to try and manufacture a turn. And when you do that, you lose all your speed here at Bells Beach. So tactical move from Kelly Slater here. I guarantee you, if Kelly wasn't on this wave, Medina would not have taken it. You can see Kelly there forcing him to go. Gabriel couldn't afford Kelly to get another one, and Medina, nice little opening turn here, but then you watch how he fades down, 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 and then off the bottom. And what that does is you just lose all your speed. Medina managed to sort of connect that first turn, but then the second one goes down.
So a solid move for Slater to get a roundhouse out the back and keep his positioning. Now he has priority, and Medina was chasing a 6-7 to make his comeback with the fall. He'll stay in second position as this rivalry continues. Kelly and Medina have a lot in common. They both won their first world title at the age of 20. When Medina was starting to realize he was going to maybe accomplish that goal, he wanted to find out the stats on how many wins did Kelly have. How young was Kelly? Was he a young 20 or an older 20? He wanted to break all of the records. But when Medina clinched, he ended up turning 21 a few days later. So Kelly was still able to keep that youngest ever world champ title intact.
Five wins that year on the way to the world title Kelly got. Medina only 3, but you know, Kelly, we talk about the tactical move that he did to get off the jet ski and force the issue, force Medina to use his priority. Here's Medina sticking to his guns and going on a smaller one, Joe.
So it's a tiny wave on the inside, and Medina needs a 6.7. He'll go for a backside air and fly away.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. We talk about how Kelly is so smart when he surfs heats. He knew Medina had priority, so what did he do? He saw this wave coming, he got off the jet ski. Have a look at that, straight off the jet ski. He knows the swell's picking up, and with these white waters breaking further out the back, how did he catch this one? I mean, this is perfect positioning there from Kelly Slater, straight off the jet ski into this wave, around about 50 meters further out than Gabriel Medina. Medina knew he had to try and take this one off Kelly because Kelly could have manufactured a score on that right there. Tactics came into play. Kelly now with priority and is pretty much in the box seat.
We'll see if that ends up telling the story of this heat. Slater still in the lead with a 6.5 and a 6.03. Medina needs a 6.7 to make his comeback with 2 world champs in the lineup. We always like talking about the world title race, as Chelsea and Rosie know. It all starts here at Bells sometimes.
Yeah, Joe, you were talking about statistics and how Medina had sort of been breaking down Kelly's statistics, fitting as they're both in the water right now. But there's also some statistics for this location as well, Rosie.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it seems to be the common theme that if you win this event, you're going to go on to win a world title. You look at the people that have taken out this event. Kelly, he's taken out 4 times. Every year that he's done that, he's gone on to win a world title.
And this is just a look at how many times that has in fact happened. All of the people that you can see on your screen have won here at Bells and then gone on to win the world title. So there's probably a little bit of not only a connection, but maybe a bit of superstition or something that would play into that. I don't know, Rosie, how much do the competitors think about the fact that winning here could actually mean a world title later on?
Definitely, I think, you know, event wins always are going to equal a world title just because you're racking up those points. But I think to do it early on in the season is so important because it gives you that confidence and that roll through the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And something else that's also really important is that we have a superheat in the water. And I know that as fans, you do not want to miss a superheat. Rosie, it looks like a wave is being caught just as we're talking about this.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Gabriel Medina, he does not have priority right now. So he's definitely trying to hunt something down on the inside. He's trying to get those bigger maneuvers in on those smaller waves to try and produce that score.
Yeah, and this is a heat that you definitely don't want to miss. And one of the amazing things about that is we do have an app that you can download at worldsurfleague.com/app. And the cool thing is you can actually set alerts for heats like this. So if you have a favorite surfer or someone that you definitely don't want to miss, you can set an alert for that surfer. It will send you a text to your phone, and you will know the minute that they are in the water. So you don't have to stick with us all day, although we wish that you would. But if you don't have that kind of time, you can just, you know, hit up the heats you want to check out, right, Rose?
Yeah, I think your phone will be going off like a bell with these two surfers in the water, because what a rivalry they're starting to create.
It's always a lot of fun, and we're going to get back to the live action so that we can check out what's going on.
Thanks, Chelsea and Rosie. That app is epic, and your phone will be buzzing throughout the later stages of today because we have another world champ. We try to listen in on talking to Andy King, Parco, 3-time bell ringer, watching this wet heat unfold and gliding in. Kelly just steps off right in front of Medina. He didn't like that wave going flat in front of him. He keeps his lead. Priority goes blank for a second. Kelly's still out the back. We'll wait for the judges to make a decision.
I wonder if we could get just a slow-mo of that dismount that Kelly's using right now. It's called the pin drop. Now, you jump feet first, and it just gets you straight out of the back of the wave. It's such a good way to penetrate. I mean, he didn't lose any distance on that. Back in the old days, we used to dive. Have a look at this. Drops down, sees that, and just feet first. Now, for all you guys that get in this real critical situation and you want to get out of the back of a wave really fast, try that. It's amazing. You know, feet first, you literally penetrate and go straight down. The wave passes you over and you pop out the back.
And as you see Kelly's positioning, he wasn't getting dragged to the inside, and he's able to regain first priority. A solid move from one of the legends of the sport, the all-time best surfer in history. And sometimes it's those little things that you notice.
Exactly.
That make the difference for a win.
I was just about to say that, Joe. Those little things. Had he, you know, not got through the back of that wave, maybe Medina could have got a priority over him, and you know things might have been a little different. Kelly maintains his priority and controls his heat. Now what he's got to do, he's got the lead. He wants the priority going into that last 5 minutes. He's going to take this one though. Now
having a look, 11-time world champ Slater throws the reverse and ends up incomplete.
Then he goes and does that.
So right there into a mistake after performing well to hang on to priority. Now he leaves the door open for last year's world champ as we check out a recap of one of our favorite heats to watch. Look at the flow and form from Slater off the top on that epoxy, straight into a bottom turn and lit up the inside for a 6.5 to take the lead.
Yeah, he absolutely lit that wave up. 2 maneuvers. Medina, on the other hand, you know, he's looking for those medium ones, Joe. He wants that cleaner face. He wants that more vertical section on the wave. Unleashes a couple of nice turns on this one. This is his best wave, a 5.83. Medina we haven't seen him light it up so far in this event. He's been kind of struggling with wave selection and trying to find the good ones. Kelly, on the other hand, he's had no problem. He's had highlight reels through round 1, round 3, and yesterday just narrowly losing in round 4, but here he is now up against Gabriel Medina, surfing really well. A pair of 6s in his pocket. A 6.5 and a 6.03, controlling this heat. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there just recently by giving up priority and letting Medina in. The door is slightly open for Gabriel Medina. He only needs a 6.7, Joe. That's not a huge score.
And now it's in his hands to control this one with priority. The two world champs battling it out. 5.5 minutes to go. This one looks like it might run through the inside. Medina makes a solid effort for it. He'll catch up and now look for the score. Big vertical hack to start. Drives off the bottom, rock and roll float. Deep off the bottom and a solid vertical re-entry to finish. Last year's world champion, liking the way that finish felt as we hit the 5-minute warning. Was it a 6.7 to get a lead change?
Was it better than Kelly's 6.5? That's what the judges will be having a look at. How clean was that first turn? The last one was great. Timing on that was perfect. Wasn't a long wave, but you don't need long waves here at Bells Beach. If that thing stands up and you get to get a couple of good turns on it. Here we go, Kelly out the back.
Now setting up this wave, acting like a comeback wave right now for Kelly. High line top turn. Mid-face bottom turn, he'll sink on the foam climb re-entry as he's down to 4:25 on the clock. Medina winning that last exchange. Kelly looks like he's opting to paddle back out with Medina on the back of the ski. We'll see what ends up rewarding first priority.
Well, we know Kelly's wave's not going to change his situation. He's kind of dropped the ball a little bit coming into this back part of the heat, Joe. I thought he was going to be very stealthy with his decision making. Caught an average wave and wiped out. But let's have a look at Medina's wave. It's all about these 2 turns out the back here. Connects with that one, comes around the section. Nice flow, up and over, and this is the one I love right here. Look at the timing of this turn. Bang, upside down. and real critical surfing. He's going to get the score. He only needs a 6.70, and that's the danger. Kelly Slater here, nice opening turn, but then tries to get too vertical on a wave that had no steep face, and that's what can happen here at Bells. Even with the talent these guys have, super tricky wave to ride. Medina paddling into the lineup. I dare say he's going to get priority, and he's going to go into this last 3 minutes with the heat lead, Joe.
A dangerous situation for Kelly Slater. Already saying he has a bad result from the Gold Coast, losing early to Italo Ferreira. Now another goofy foot Brazilian with the lead with 3 minutes to go. This goofy foot is a world champ. As we have more goofy foots downstairs, Todd Klein is downstairs next to the stepfather of Gabriel Medina.
Yeah, actually, I'm up just a few stairs, Joe, but what I wanted to point out is I've been watching this heat quite intently, and I'm in an area which is kind of known as the coach's perch. It's about midway down the stairwell, has a little bit of an outcropping, so they get a direct point of view to the surfers. They can guide them and give them updates. I've been watching Charlie, who is the stepdad for Gabriel, as you know, and he started out up here and actually has walked down a few steps and has been watching from down there. Gabriel's backup board is behind me, but you know, definitely an intense heat here for Charlie as he watches his stepson out there.
Thank you, Todd. 2:30 remaining. Tense moments for Slater now as he'll check out a little whitewater ball. That one's going flat. He now needs a 6.51 to catch up with Medina. Last to Gabriel, a 7.17. That made the big difference with a big vertical closeout hack to steal the lead. Now 2 minutes remaining. This all-time clash we're looking forward to. We saw that crazy final they had together in Tahiti. That was one that Kelly did not want to lose. Kelly forced Medina to take off on the biggest wave that Medina had locked into during that entire contest. But Kelly was quickly to acknowledge Medina's skill set, picking the right waves, and now in a challenging lineup where Medina hasn't proved himself yet in his career here at Bells Beach. He's getting a little bit closer to a quarterfinal appearance.
Yeah, you know, insane that we haven't seen Medina sort of connect yet with Bells, yet he's here in round 5. Looking at a quarterfinal result right now, it's going to give Medina a lot of confidence. That last wave that he surfed that thing perfectly. I mean, he couldn't have done any more on it, finishing off with an upside down backside snap in the perfect position. We saw Mark Occhilupo do it in the semi-finals against Tom Curran in one of the greatest heats ever surfed out here. But, you know, Medina, he's got Kelly against the ropes. Made that little mistake there, taking off on a wave, wiping out, giving Medina priority that ended up being that 7.17. Little mistakes like that can really play on you.
Well, now a little whitewater roll-in for Slater to try to turn this heat. He's pulled off miracles throughout the last 2 decades. Can he do it on this one? Speed snap, vertical climb out front. Here comes the roundhouse wrap. And now Slater needs a solid finish. Now looking towards this inside corner. Slater on his last effort in this heat to make the quarters. Forehand jam, redirects on the backhand. Multiple turns already as he'll get dropped off. With now 22 seconds to go, Medina will get the last wave. Backside float, foam climb. That one's gonna not offer him too much to change his top 2, and the clock will run out. It's coming down to Kelly's final wave pots.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not a judge right now. That was, I mean, he surfed that wave incredibly well. You've got to go back to the beginning of the heat where Medina was catching waves like that. The highest score he got was a 5.83. Did Kelly do enough on that wave? You know, we're waiting for scores. Kelly, you can see taking in the deep breaths. He put every ounce of energy he had left into that one wave. Medina let him have it, which may be a mistake, but a 6.51, that's equaling his best ride that we saw here today. That big opening, you know, big snap out the back, finished off with a beautiful turn. Is that as good as that last wave?
Well, we've seen Kelly in this position so often, even here at Bells Beach, trying to get a wave at the end, and oftentimes he gets it. It was a smaller wave. How'd you like his first turn?
Yeah, beautiful turn there, races around the section, up and over there. Kelly's so good at that. Keeps that flow going. Nice wraparound cutback with a little bit of a tweak at the end of it. Another one there. So Kelly bringing this one through, keeping that speed going. I'll tell you what, this next turn's nice as well. Big gouging maneuver. And then a backside bounce off the white water. So Kelly did pretty much everything you could possibly do on that wave. Asking the question, was that enough?
That shitty one, then you got your wave. Yeah, that was lucky. The last one was small, but kind of like let me do. I got 2 good turns outside. What about in the last turn? And I got a good snap inside. I like had a lot of speed through the inside. One snap. It's gonna be close, I think. 6'5", isn't it? I need a 6'5". I need the same as my first score. Yeah. My first score was 2 turns on a big wave. I close out like first good one, second okay climb. And we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, well numbers dropping, and it's not enough. It's 5.93 after Red Kelly's
Kelly doesn't get the score of 5.93, and Medina keeps that winning streak alive over Kelly Slater and moves on to the quarterfinals. Coming up next, Parko takes on Josh Kerr here at Bells Beach.
Yeah.